Welcome to the All Love Us community, where we created a safe space because God doesn't discriminate. Join our morning inspirations every day at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on TikTok at BigStud_G. Join our Studdish panel where we have necessary conversations to eliminate toxic masculinity. Look forward to our ALU podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. along with other exciting brands, hats, and apparels. Be patient with us. Although we're new, there's so much more coming to the family. Are you ready for the ride? Welcome to ALU.
What up, everybody? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another ALU podcast. We are here. Your host, G, Big Stud, whatever. Co-host right here, as you can see, in the flesh. Camera on already. That's what I'm talking about. JC, how you feeling, JC? You muted. What up, Miss Big Chef? What's good, Big Chef? How y'all feeling?
Why I still have this muted, bro?
I said it's okay. She gonna get it.
I'm over here talking to myself.
You ain't hear me say you muted?
I didn't even hear that because I don't know what was going out the sound. I was so focused. Doing the most.
You muted. What's good, everybody? What's good, Alicia? What's good, y'all? Welcome in. It's another one, y'all. Y'all see the topic? We talking about affirming churches. That's what we talking about today. Because we got to get some things figured out. We got to get some things understood, if you understand what I'm saying, because these churches, boy,
they be ready.
I swear, like these must be talking affirming when they really not. But anyway, how y'all Thursday going so far? Thankful Thursday. It still is for me. It still is Thankful Thursday. How y'all Thursday going so far? How your Thursday going, JC?
It's going pretty good. I mean, I'm thankful that I made it to the podcast.
Facts. And we was almost on time.
Almost.
Yeah, we was almost on time. Like we was on time here, meeting each other here, but to go live, we was almost on time. We was like 5 minutes late. It's cool. We working on it. We're gonna be more punctual sometime soon. I would say next week, but I don't want to make that promise because then y'all be like, you said you was gonna be on time, and then I'm gonna have to tell you I say a lot of things.
I say a lot
of things. Like it just is what it is. Let me check and see if this mug is on Patreon and able to play on Patreon right now, because I shared it.
I think it is.
Are y'all watching on Patreon? Or are y'all watching? Look like y'all watching on YouTube.
Yeah, let us know if y'all watching it on Patreon or YouTube.
I'm gonna check and see because my phone be letting me know too.
Because either way, we live.
We live.
And we live, y'all. I'm over here checking.
I'm definitely looking. It should be playing. Let me see.
It should be playing.
Oh, look, it's playing.
Yeah,
it's playing on my end. Let me know if y'all can watch it on y'all's. First of all, I just came from a comedy show. You can watch it on Patreon. I just checked. It played.
Yeah.
Now, if it don't play on y'all end, something ain't right. Because I checked it from my other account, because I'm on Patreon from my other account, and I'm not logged in, so I can see that it's playing. JC, it play for you?
Yeah, it's playing for me on
yeah.
all the above.
Oh yeah, y'all can watch on Patreon now. See, I told y'all we had that thing covered. We had that thing covered. Like we definitely had it taken care of, because I'm like, these people paying for something and can't even access it. That's crazy. So we got it together. We got it fixed. But I just came from a comedy show. Was watching TikTok live. Big Chef and her wife as gingerbread is. I never thought that would be the funniest thing I had ever seen. I never thought that it would be that funny. I promise you I did not. But that mug had me crying laughing. Like when the gingerbread opened the mouth all wide. Your wife was right, Big Chef. She was right, because that is hilarious as hell. Like watching y'all, man, and then the harmony that they did when they were singing Emmanuel, I was crying. I had to screen record them mugs. I'm like, these mugs tripping.
You will.
Tripping. And then on one song, Big Chef was singing soprano and was like, why am I singing so high? I was like, bro, I was gonna ask the same thing, because what is happening? Them mugs had me weak, crying, laughing, like hilarious. Y'all, that was fun.
Glad I tuned in. Well, if y'all didn't tune in, you missed out. But hopefully
you missed out, man. And that's why I sent that link to everybody that I sent it to. The live, I shared it with everybody, because I'm like, y'all need to come look at these mugs, this couple right here, because they funny. They're funny as hell. But you know what I didn't do? I did not send it to Chris. And she was like, why didn't I get the link? I know. It's a lot that be happening. I be needing help, y'all. Y'all be needing to help me.
I'm gonna help you out, let me know so I can help you. Help you.
Facts. I can help you, help me, help you, help me.
Yes. I need all the help I can get. I'll take it.
I can do
I
that.
wonder where be at, so she could be trying to tell me what I can say and can't say.
Right, exactly. Tell much you can't say that. I hope everybody's day is going smooth. I'm ready to get in this topic though, because I'm gonna let. All right. So, how many of y'all have come across an affirming church? How many of y'all actually have visited a church and it said it was an affirming church, but it wasn't? Like it sounded good when they said it, but it wasn't really affirming. JC, have you ever visited an affirming church? Matter of fact, do you go to church?
I do go to church, but I don't go to affirming church. But I have visited affirming churches. But I almost felt like I was getting discriminated at the affirming churches. I was like, what? I was like, how is this happening? Supposed to be affirming me? Like, nah.
What I'm talking about?
Or like, keep it stepping. Nah, but it was all right. I mean, I guess maybe I was expecting it to be more like mixed and blended, but it was just like all dudes.
It was all dudes?
Every time that I would go, it would always be all guys.
Really?
Yeah.
What was this church?
This is great. But remember, I mean, I got a few years. So this is back. So it wasn't like there wasn't as many like females and stuff like that, or masculine femmes out, females out. So I would go and it would be like a whole bunch of dudes, and I never really had issues when I would go to my, like, even my old church or the churches that I go to now, like with my family and stuff. I don't have any issues really with the people. They never try to tell me anything. They just are like, okay, it is what it is. Like, obviously she's still going to dress like this, but they've known me for forever, basically. So since I was younger, most of the people. So it's like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's not a phase, basically. So
really?
They're not gonna talk me out of it, or
have they ever tried?
No.
And it's not necessarily an affirming church. It's just
a church, and I mean, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, they just are like, okay, well, at least you're coming to church type of attitude. Which I mean, oh, go ahead.
No, you finish, because I had a question that was going somewhere else.
Yeah, and so like as far as affirming, I have gone now more recently because I feel like there's more of them and there's more people being included. But I mean, I don't have the issue of when I've gone to other churches like people laying like I mean, of course, people look at me funny or whatever, but I don't care. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just that person like, oh well, they guess you're getting a show today. You want to take a picture, like so. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just going for me and to see, praise God. Really, like I ain't worried about
Mm-hmm.
what you got to do. That's your business.
Facts.
Yeah.
Has the preacher or pastor ever talked about homosexuality, like in the pulpit or anything? Ever
Yeah,
mentioned it?
definitely. I've heard those messages, but at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, we talk about any other things you want to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's got problems. Everybody has an issue if you want to say it like that. So
Mm-hmm. Now,
doesn't change what I'm here for. Just like it doesn't change just because you do something that you think is better with no sin. If we're gonna say there's sins, nothing's better. So I would need you to chill.
facts.
My
Facts.
heart is still in the right place, and that's all that matters.
Agreed. Okay, so then because I know like the churches that I've visited, right? I've had, and Chris is a witness because I've voiced some some situations where I've been affected. Because
Mm-hmm.
now in my journey of looking for a church and trying to find a church and just wanting to be, it look like I ain't got no arms. That is crazy because my shirt black. Extremely
You
hot.
went into the wall. You don't exist.
Right. Like, come on, man. I ain't that orange.
Just blended.
Just blending. What up? What's good, B?
Yeah, B.
Y'all know y'all can watch through Patreon. I just wanted y'all to know, like, it is
Mm-hmm.
fixed. It is.
It actually is working.
It actually is working. Just to let y'all know, it does work. Patreon is available. I told y'all I was getting that together. I fixed it. What up, Mel? What's good?
Mel?
Look at you. Look at you. What's good, Mel?
Okay.
But yeah, so in my whole journey of finding a church and all of that, right? Like just
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't necessarily a church to join. It was a church to just like, what up, Jay Free? Look at y'all. It was a church to kind of like give back, right? To like give my talents to or whatever. And then you come across churches that say, yeah, we affirm it, but they don't actually say it in the pulpit. Like the most
Yep.
they say is like, I believe everybody should be able to have the right to be who they are. I
Yes.
believe in equality. I believe in being inclusive. Boom, that's it. Like that's
all
what
you
they
get.
say. That's all you get. But then again, because of the type of church that it is and the history of the denomination of the church, you can't really say that because all your members gonna leave. If you say we are an affirming church, your members gonna
Yep.
leave. So in today's time, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe churches say they're affirming to get more people in the building because they know nobody's really coming to church no more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why my question stands: like, are they really affirming when they say they're an affirming church? Are churches that say they're affirming really affirming? And if they are, how do you know? How do you know they're affirming? Like, is there a what is it, like a quality or something like that you'll be looking for? Or is there, because again, you got people like us that's really coming in that really wants to have an experience like everybody else without having be dragged to the altar talking about you need to come on down here so we can pray for you real quick.
Right.
Like
Every time you show up, we need to pray for you. The Lord told me, okay, I would need you to relax.
Bro, every time you show up, God didn't tell you that. You just you being homophobic is what you being. Like you sending me down to the altar because you got a problem. It ain't got nothing to do with me or with God. It's got everything to do with you. Like you tripping.
You need to be at the altar.
You need to be up here and I need to pray for you. Let me pray for you because I feel like my prayer, my faith might be a little heavier than yours because you got some type of judgmental issue that you need to deal with. Like I guess that's my question to you, JC. Like, do you believe that there is such thing as an affirming church nowadays?
I mean, I could say yes and no because I feel like there's some spots you're gonna go to where people are not gonna agree if you don't have like pronouns and all these other things. They're not necessarily gonna want you there. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, "Well, you don't have pronouns," and then you're gonna have an issue. I just feel like people are always gonna be people, no matter what they say. Oh, we're affirming. You're still gonna have issues. Why? Because people are there. well, you're not doing this, and this is what we want. We want you to have pronouns and stuff. I'd be like, oh, well, I guess I'm not coming here.
Yeah.
Have no labels.
Yeah.
But then someone else that does can go over there, and then you're gonna have the churches that don't care.
Yeah. And
Just
what
come in as you are, and we accept you.
so what does it mean to actually be affirming? Is it just to be including or inclusive of LGBTQ?
What's the definition?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Not the definition.
What is an affirming church? It says it is a religious congregation that actively welcomes and affirms people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, including LGBTQWX. No, I'm just kidding. Let me go fit anybody outside members. Plus.
So it really is for LGBTQ then.
Yes.
And to affirm sexual identities and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I still feel within that, just like within regular church, you're still going to have people wanting to do their own things and being themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Always.
People always judge and try to impose their beliefs on you. They will. Which is, again, brings me back to my question. Is there such thing as an affirming church? Back in the day, hell no. It was a no. It was a... But I can talk about when I was little. Like, it was a no.
Yeah.
We didn't know. And I still believe it's a no because I feel like it's a ploy to get more people to come into church and give money, time, vulnerability. And when you're most vulnerable, you give.
Mm-hmm.
You give because in churches as well, and I'm not bashing the church, but in a lot of churches, you get pastors who make it seem as if they're the answer to your problem. So
yes.
If you pay in this offering right here, we'll give you, God will answer your prayers or God will hear you, stuff like that. Like, and when you're vulnerable and you feel like you ain't got no other way to, you know what I'm saying, like to turn or whatever, then it's you gonna give your last electricity money that's supposed to go to ComEd or whoever, you gonna give it. Because you banking in on what the pastor said. You giving this, God will bless double. Chris talk about this all the time about giving and where you're supposed to give. The Bible doesn't necessarily say to give in the church. It tells you who you're supposed to give to. And she gets into that all the time. She be like, y'all doing it wrong. Y'all doing it wrong. You're not supposed to do it like that. So yeah, Marvin Sapp was completely wrong. He was definitely holding people hostage. I was kicking them doors down. I can tell you that much. I was kicking them doors down because you tell your mama to wait. Because I'm not. I gotta go.
I mean, you want to lock me in here? We're about to have one of those youth lock-ins like they used to. We'll be in here for a long time. I ain't nobody. I'm gonna be asleep up in there with my jacket on the pew. And be like, get up.
We finna be tussling. Is what we finna be.
You gotta kick me out. I'll outweight you.
We about to be tussling. You understand? Like that just is what it is. That's how we gonna do it. Okay, so then how is it different from being welcoming or inclusive? What is the difference to be welcoming or inclusive?
I mean, I can feel like people can be welcoming because at the end of the day, Jesus did say love your neighbor as yourself. So if you're doing that, you're not gonna try to. I mean, of course, the other parts of his message I get to, like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that to live right. He does say that. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't necessarily always go into specifics like everybody tries to do because he knows everybody sinned. So at the end of the day, if you want to consider anything a sin, you can still be welcoming to those people, even if you think it's not okay. If that's your belief, you can still be welcoming and you can still be friend. You can still associate. It's just that I feel like a lot of times it's religion that gets in the way and people say, oh yeah, I want to include. Now, including to me is like, okay, I don't care that you have this lifestyle, but you're still able to come into the church and be a part of it and be a part of the ministry and things like that. But the welcoming, it's more like you can be here, but we may not necessarily agree with what you do, but they'll welcome you into it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they'll let you be involved because I've been involved in the churches I've been at.
Yeah.
I've done help them with different things. So it just depends on the people and how they interpret what Jesus says, basically, which is love your neighbor as yourself. And if you're doing that, you're not gonna try to tell people what to do, because it's not about you trying to tell someone what to do. That's about God working on them, if that's the walk He has for them.
Yeah, fact. Melanie said you can welcome anyone but not accepting. Inclusive, you are accepting no matter what. That's true. A mug can tell you, you welcome in here. You could definitely be welcomed into the church. They'll welcome you in every day, all day. But to be inclusive means to see people that look like us actually involved in the church. You know what I'm saying? And even having, and correct me if I'm wrong, like I believe being inclusive also includes having what is it? Hold on, it's coming. I'm having a brain fart. What is it called when you have I guess you would call it a ministry in the church? Like, know how they have like women's ministry, men's stuff like that. I believe
you're still able to help.
Exactly. And I believe being inclusive would include some type of like LGBTQ type ministry within the church as well. Like, people who reach out to people within the LGBTQ community to get them to come into church. Because a lot of people are not going to step foot in the church to find out that they're inclusive or an affirming church. That's something that I got to see on TikTok. And then I got to see, okay, let me see if somebody in there gay for real. And if I don't see that, you ain't selling me, because you're not going to use me as a ploy and experiment. You're not for no. Like, if you don't already have a few gay members in there, I'm cool. Like, I don't want no, I'm not going to be your first. I'm not going to be your first. You gotta have, and it's like, you're not inclusive. You're not affirming. Because I'm looking around. I'm the only one a part of the LGBTQ ministry. Like,
maybe you're the first one they had. Is they want to be inclusive.
I don't want to be your guinea pig. I don't want to. You're going to get a whole nother crew in there. I tried that. I ain't like it.
You want to be part of it.
Nope. I want to be a part of the crew that comes in, and it's more than just me. And we can no, because then you got people looking. First of all, when the church doesn't even agree, you got people looking at you like,
oh yeah, definitely. Oh, they do. That's why I'm like, I'm still gonna wear my tie. I'm still gonna wear my bow tie. What?
Man, what exactly?
Now I get compliments. They be like, "Oh, I like that jacket. Yeah, I got it."
Yep. Yep.
I got it at Ross.
I'm still gonna dress like a baby daddy. I don't care what y'all saying. I'm still gonna dress like a baby daddy. Most churches are welcoming. I disagree. I think there's a lot of them that are. Well, you know what? You are right. I agree. I see what you did there. B.
Yeah.
You did not say most churches are affirming. You said most churches are welcoming. I agree. That is true. Most churches are welcoming. They are. They will welcome you. I was ready to disagree. Y'all saw that? Not right.
You're trying to be me.
I was trying to be you for a second.
I disagree. What did you say?
Got me. I hear people see a mask and say, "Oh,
Why do you have to be like that,
man?" I'm telling you, people definitely had an issue with how I dressed before. Well, it's a real nice blouse. First of all, don't come to me talking about no blouse. Don't do that.
Well, thank you. It is a shirt, a button up.
Right. We call these button ups because this is a man's shirt. I shop only in the men's department. That's where I shop.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I wear a blouse like if it's lit. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm not gonna find that in the men's. Let me go ahead and get that.
See, I got to get that courage back because I ain't got it. I said I spent enough years of my life wearing women's clothing. Now I get to wear men's, and that's what I'm gonna do.
When I say blouse, it's usually a button-up shirt. That's a woman's button-up.
It's a women's button-up.
It's not one of those other shirts.
Until they find out that other what?
Find out that other.
Let you come in there with your partner though. Let you come in there with your partner. First of all, it's one thing to look masculine presenting or to look, I guess, gay. I don't know how. I guess I know when people look at me, they know that I'm in the community. It's one thing for you to come in, because a lot of people also assume when you come into church that you are coming to change, or when you come, they can change you or influence you, to say that God changed you or whatever.
Yep.
So when you go into church with your partner, it's kind of like, oh, she really is gay. No,
Oh,
we can't have that. We can't have that. I have seen lesbian families at my church and they are friendly. Where you live, B? They are friendly to them. You know what? I know some friendly people who are nasty behind closed doors. I know some
bro, I
friends.
know.
And I'm not, again, this is not to say that churches, like all churches, are nasty. It's not to say that. Because I actually just came across some affirming churches today. Like, it's an organization in Chicago that I'm looking into right now, and they're very, very affirming. Like, they are LGBTQ organizations who support churches, who are affirming churches. Exactly. Exactly. So you can go in there. You can definitely go in there by like I've been going by myself. I may bring my kids every now and then, going in there by myself, and it's
Yep.
me. Here I am, and let me come in there with Chris, and they're gonna be like,
Excuse you?
the disrespect. First of all, I've been coming here. What do you mean? Like, I thought this was your pastor said. Your pastor said y'all affirming. So yeah, so it's all good until you walk into the church and you confirm what they already feel like you trying to change, and which is why you come to church. So churches are definitely going to be welcoming, number one, because churches' main goal is to allow people to come into the building, into the storehouse, who want to change. A lot of people depend on church so much that they've allowed church to change their lifestyle and not God.
Yeah.
So going to church definitely encourages a lot of people to change their lifestyle. Now, I'm not going to say it's not God, because for me, God is the one that encourages me to change. Nobody, no man, none of it, unless I'm doing something to jeopardize my family, of course. But no man, no building is going to force me to change. It's going to be, am I living according to what God has called me to do, or who God has called me to be? That's what it is. It's not going to be because of the church. So a lot of people believe that, again, this is not to say everybody, but I would like to say most churches are welcoming, but most churches are not really affirming, even if they say it. But even if you do have those churches that are affirming, I think you will be able to see that there is a number of people within the community, the LGBTQ community, who are active in the church. And this is to say that those churches that were not affirming at first, not the ones that just started and they're affirming now. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones that just started, that are just starting from the ground up, and they are actually affirming. I mean, those old school churches who are switching it up and now wanting to say, we're affirming, we're including, we're inclusive, we're going to include everybody, and you ain't got nobody gay in your church. And then you got the closeted choir director who is afraid to say that they gay.
Everybody knows. And and I always would laugh about that. Why does the choir director get to be gay? Like,
and what's crazy is them must be closeted. They closeted, like they're not out loud, but it's clear, like you switching.
I don't know. Some of the people I've seen, I was like, there's no way you closeted that.
That's what I'm saying. A mugger feel like that you, man, please. A mugger feel like you don't know. It's like, bro, or sis, or whatever you prefer. Individual, we see you. We know. You would not go to your church.
Know you have a partner.
I know how they think. I've been there 30 years. Oh, so the church that you go to, is it affirming?
So are they really welcoming?
That's true. That's a good question. B, you got kids? Did I read that right?
She said, I'm letting her answer her question.
Oh, I get. Is that like a hypothetical? Like, I wouldn't bring my girl or my kids. Help me out, B.
Yeah, because I mean, how is it welcoming if you already know you can't? Like, I know I could go where I go or where I've gone, and it is what it is. They're gonna still let me be there.
Facts.
That's whoever I bring.
Yeah. She said a lot of churches are stuck in religion and God is not in the building. No, that's facts. Mm-hmm. And then again, like I said before, like a lot of churches, like out of nowhere, become affirming because they don't have no butts in the seats. Nowadays, like especially this younger generation that's coming up, they stand for everything. Like you can't just tell them one little thing and then expect them to run with it. They're gonna ask questions like, why? Okay, well, how that happened? Okay, why that happened? When did that happen? What was going on? Like, they're gonna ask questions. Like, you can't just get them anything. So they're not just gonna come to church just because my generation, we had no choice. We had to go to church. Like, that was, I think that we were the last? Yep, we were probably the last generation to be like forced to be in church. After that, because now we are the adults, and we've experienced a lot of maybe church hurt or a lot of situations that happened back then. I don't really force my kids. My kids are the ones that ask me if they can go to church.
Yeah.
Or if we can go to church. I heard them voting one time, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and it was like, okay, if you want to go, they was in the back and I was up here. They said, if you want to go to church, raise your hand. They was raising their hand. So I heard one of them say, okay, that's 3 of us. Okay, so we got to do it again because everybody didn't raise their hand. Like, that's not how you vote. You're not supposed to.
Y'all vote.
If you want to go, raise your hand. One person didn't raise their hand, it's cool. But
they still going.
Hey. So we ended up, they asked me if we can go, and I was like, oh my, yeah, we can go. So we ended up going the next day. But it, our generation, like I said, we were the ones that were forced to go to church.
You lived in church.
We lived in church. Sunday to Sunday.
Don't let it be mission conference or something. Sweet baby Jesus, you in there. Woo. All day. If you weren't in school all day, then if you were in school, you're there all night, you sleepy.
Oh my God. If it wasn't a Baptist convention,
how?
If it wasn't a retreat, if it wasn't a prayer conference, if it wasn't a guest speaker, if it wasn't Women's Day, Man's Day, choir reunion, or if it was always something. Exactly. Always, and
just living there.
Oh my God. See, at the church that I grew up, we had Saturday prayer, we had Sunday morning service, then Sunday afternoon service. Monday was like a Bible teaching, something like that. Tuesday night was like praise team rehearsal / church. Wednesday was Bible study, which was church. Thursday was prayer, church. Friday was Friday service, church. Saturday was, we were literally in church every day. Every day.
There's always something going on at the church house.
Man, I swear. I swear. No, I got you, B. I understood the question. Yeah. I said like it was hypothetical. Got you. Your parents founded a church. What's church, girl? Where you from?
Okay.
They are welcoming because people are friendly, which is welcoming.
No. Okay, I'm gonna go to your other response. Let me go to the other way you said. Now I know they won't call your wife, nor will they marry you, which I respect. I don't expect the church to change your word. Are you talking about like if I were to go to church with somebody, or is this answer to yours?
Who, me?
What I said. Yeah, I'm asking B because she had posted one earlier.
She did. But when you asked was the church friendly, this is what she.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, because friendly can be fake.
I was just about to say.
And I've been to plenty of places where they're friendly, but they're not really friendly.
They're not really friendly. They fake.
It's just
Chicago. My bad, JC. Go ahead.
No, you good. Okay, shot too.
What church in Chicago? Because my granddaddy did too. It's on the low end, like on the west side low end, like over there. My granddaddy pastored a church in Chicago called Greater Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. And we were a part of that church. That was when we joined that church. When we joined that church, I was 13 years old, and I got my first pair of pants because we went there. I went 13 years, y'all. Well, of course, as a baby. Not even as a baby, I ain't had no pants. Ain't that crazy? Like, why you ain't putting no little leggings or something on me when I was a baby? I ain't never thought that me as an infant would burn for eternity if you put leggings on me. What the hell? Like, y'all tripping. I'll call facts.
That they don't sound like the Lord's work. That's
at all.
They don't sound like the Lord's work to me.
I am an infant. I was pure. Put some leggings on me, man. Like, if I was tripping, it's dresses all the time. What's wrong with you?
If you don't have stockings on, you won't get into heaven. What? That don't make no sense. Like, what if I'm getting dressed and you come back? Sorry, you didn't have your stockings on. I'll be back.
I'll be right. You're gonna miss this one. You wait for the next. Wait for the rapture. Like, what?
I'm gonna send the second rapture because I
Right.
need you to have your stockings on.
Trash. Stockings and the slip.
And a slip, not
As
the
an
slip.
infant is crazy. The
Full
slip
body
is
slip,
crazy.
half slip.
The slip is crazy. What?
I remember those.
It's crazy. The slip. You said on Wabash. I know where that's at. South side. Ooh. Definitely on the low end. I know what that's at. I know Wabash. But yeah, I agree though, JC, when you said friendly can also be fake. Because just because you smile don't mean you nice. Just because you smile don't mean you kind. Or just because you smile and you say welcome, that's because you have to. That don't mean. That don't mean.
Sometimes I don't even want you to welcome me because you want to shake my hand. And I don't like. One, I don't really like shaking people's hands.
Or you want a hug.
I don't know you.
That's what I do when people
really want to shake your hand or give you a hug. Can I give you an elbow check? Like can we hit elbows? You just say welcome, be blessed, and let me walk by. Like that's even better. Don't even touch me. I'll take the non-touch. But
don't even touch me.
Hey, the Lord still loves me, like, and just like He loves you don't have to give me a hug.
What are some things that an affirming church can? What are some things that they're risking in order to be affirming?
Wait, re-ask the question and help me out in the comments because I don't know where I was.
What are some things that an affirming church risks in order to be affirming? What are some? Of course, backlash. I can say that they're going to receive backlash.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to.
Well, wait. What did that say? Be the biggest demons welcoming you at church.
I swear. Mm-hmm. I swear. I promise you. Right there at the door, smiling, like your fangs are showing. Move.
Like, don't touch me. I'm good, bro.
Yeah, no, man.
Where's Jesus? No. Praise Him over there. Wait for me.
No. Then we are all fake. Personally, there are many times we are friendly, welcoming, and we really don't mean it. We just go through the motions.
No, I don't. Because if I don't like you, I ain't gonna say hi to you.
If I don't like you, it's usually always the other way around for me. Because I'm a naturally friendly, I guess I can use. I was gonna say nice. I'm not naturally nice. I'm a naturally friendly person. But it always is the other way around, and that's what makes me say, okay, you like that, cool, we good. And you won't ever have to guess if we good or not, because I will confirm for you that, and it won't be I think she don't know. It's gonna be I don't mess with you.
You're gonna know.
And if you need to know, I can tell you. Just ask. Hey, you cool with me? No, because I ain't like when you did such and such. I ain't never been fake. I can tell you that much.
If you come up and my spirit don't feel right about you, it is what it is. You already came up. I'm still gonna say hi, but my hi is gonna let you know hi and bye. Like keep it moving.
Yep. Nope.
It's not fake. I'm being genuine.
Exactly. No, I don't go through the motions. I control my emotions. I can tell you that much. And if I ain't feeling it.
If I was being fake, I would be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Nah.
Right. Hey. It's too much energy to be fake. It's just way too much. It takes too, and then you got to pretend every time you see him, and then my spirit is perturbed every time I'm around. Nah, man, you got to move around.
You're not about to be getting my energy, bro.
Nah, exactly. Nah, you got to move around. Why am I always feeling so tired and lagged when you're around? Like that's too much.
It's sucking up on my energy like a vampire,
bro. I don't see people do it. I can't be fake. And if it's one thing, Chris ain't gonna let me be fake. She'll be like, yeah, I don't like them. They gotta move. Like they gotta go. I don't like that. My opinion is there is no risk for the affirming church. They are working and moving in God. Got it. That's true. I mean, I could see why you would say that. I could definitely see that. What are some risks that we could be taking as ALU, especially on a platform like TikTok? You know, you see a lot of people doing, what we do in the morning, but they are not LGBTQ oriented. They are just, I guess they would say, more in alignment with God. We can't judge churches when we don't walk right as far as friendliness and being welcoming ourselves. Who?
It was a who for me, bro. Why?
Wait, what?
You can't judge churches. I don't. This isn't about judging churches. I'm just talking about people and how they are in general.
Again, disclaimer.
I go to all churches. I have no issue. I'm gonna show up in my tie, my jacket, my slack. Like at the end of the day, it is what it is. When I walk into your church, I'm walking in how I am.
Yeah, and if I feel again, and this is a question that I'll ask too. How do you know if just because it's an affirming church does that mean it is the right church for you, even though you're in the community?
Definitely not, because I've been to them.
Come on now.
I'd be like, oh no, y'all don't even know what Bible verses you read. You're like, what is happening in here?
Come on now, talk about it.
But I've been to those too, and I've been to churches that aren't even affirming, that are regular churches. They don't know the Bible, so don't even get me started, because we are the church. We're responsible for our salvation, for your own salvation.
Facts.
So you got to have that discernment when you walk in there. It's not about judging, really. It's more about discernment. Like, are they doing the right thing? Because you could still have a church that says I'm affirming, and because just because it's affirming doesn't always mean it's welcoming either. Because I've been to those. Like I said, like I've been to those where they're like, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable here because it's all these people, and then I'm over here talking about the Bible. They looking at me crazy because they don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter because people are still involved. You're still gonna have issues.
Yeah.
Don't start.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, no. And again, like I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there again. This conversation is not judging churches. It's not talking against churches. It's bringing light to certain situations. That's what these conversations are supposed to do. They're supposed to start necessary conversations about things like this, not because we're judging. I don't have an issue with the church. I have an issue with how people run the church, just like Jesus did when Jesus went in there and flipped over the tables. Why? Because they were treating the house as what? They were in there gambling. They were in there doing all kind of unnecessary stuff, which is what's happening now today. Marvin Sapp, what he did was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes in situations like this, it's okay for people to say, well, I ain't gonna judge it. It's also okay for you to say, that ain't my type of scene. That ain't my type of scenery right there. Like, I'm cool on that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And ain't nothing wrong with saying, hey, she giving me a real what is it? Like, I don't want to say evil, but she being real nasty to me. Like, it's a nasty. I do not like a mug that's nasty nice. I can't stand a mug that is nasty nice. Like, you nice but with an attitude. You think that shit is cute. I can't stand a mug like that. Like, I can't stand that at all. Like, what you being nasty nice
I know
for?
you're talking in general, B. I'm always messing with you.
Like, what you being nasty nice for? What you being?
Yeah, that nasty nice is something else. But that's why I say it's everywhere. Like J. Free said, she said issues will always arise because of man. Like, it doesn't matter if it's affirming it doesn't matter. People are there, and people will always be people, and they will always judge no matter what. Because that's what people do. Unfortunately, we all do it, or we discriminate, or whatever we want to say.
Facts.
I mean, we can try our best not to, but we still are.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're only human.
Where the chefs go?
Right? I was like, it got real quiet. Maybe they went for their anniversary. They dropped us. They said dropped.
Right. They said we out of there. We all have our biases. That's true. That's true, Chris. We do. Which is why I always say it's necessary to date the church. Date the church. Like, you don't always have to feel forced into becoming a part or joining a church right away because you had a good Sunday. You don't always have to do that. This is a general statement. I know a lot of folks who walk in churches and they already walk in with a negative spirit that they will judge you. Yeah.
I'm being JC today. I am done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Only because, I mean, past experiences, again, especially walking in there and you are gay, like, and it's clear. Again, I dress like a baby daddy when I go to church. Like, I go to church.
Why a baby daddy?
Because I got kids. That's why. Because I got kids. I dress like a baby daddy when I go to church. So when I walk in, church, they can probably guess, like, oh, she might be struggling. I mean, that's what they may see it as, especially if they're not out loud affirming. That's what they get. That's what they gather when they see me. But when I walk in with if I were to walk in with Chris, it'd be like, because that's typically the response that you would get. Typically, which is why I asked the question of, are affirming churches really affirming churches? Because you can go with your partner and everything, and they still look at you funny. Or even the churches that have not mentioned that they are affirming churches, but they also have not preached about homosexuality, like Pastor Mike McClure, Pastor Mike Jr., PMJ. I've never heard him mention, or talk about homosexuality or anything like that. He always talks about, like, all of his sermons have been about, things that you need, like tools that you would need to get you through everyday life today. Mm-hmm. You can tell that man studies. That man definitely gets into his word. He understands what he's teaching. He ain't typing up Chat GPT. Give me a sermon about.
Copyright the sermon, chat.
And then reading what he typed in Chat GPT. Like, he getting up there and he's feeling the message. Like, he's giving and delivering it spoon by spoon so that we can digest it. And then you come back and you ready for whatever it is that his church is going to deliver again that following Sunday. It's not always about, we can't keep on sinning and smoking, drinking, and being homosexuals and all. It's never that. It's always, look, man, we got to stop this. What is it? What is it? Gluttony. We can't become, we can't become fool on fool when it's a sin. Gluttony is a sin. Gossiping is a sin. And it's all kind of other things that are not mentioned because people always jump to it's daily sins, and people always jump to those big ones of what they consider big ones, like smoking. Leave people that smoke weed alone.
God already says the worst sin is blasphemy, but we don't talk about that enough at all. And I be telling folks, I said, please don't talk to me, because we can go into the scriptures real quick. We can go ahead and dive right in. Put on your scuba gear. You might need to be like in Men of Honor, put on that deep sea diving thing. You're about to go deep. Don't come at me.
Facts. I gave up on finding the church. Me and Jesus get our jam on at the. I know that's right. Me, Jesus, and the Holy Ghost. I ain't mad at it. The only ghost in my house is the Holy One. That's what I tell my kids. I think it's a ghost. Yeah, it's a holy one. It's not gonna hurt you.
Don't worry. The Holy Ghost is just fighting the other.
Right. It's fighting the other ones that you may think that you see.
Spiritual warfare.
Honestly, I feel even outside of the community, people inside the churches are so judgmental anyway. Mm-hmm. It's hard for anyone to find a home church nowadays. Preach one thing and act another way.
Come on. Ain't telling them one lie. Oh, man. I need some more drink. Hold on, let me find some. I need some tea. That was some tea.
I was about to say. Ooh. I mean, that's a good point.
Very good point. But it is true, because, again, like I always say, people wouldn't have liked Jesus at all because of who he hung out with, who his friends were, all that. Nobody, man, people play too much. But we judge, and I'm just like, shouldn't everybody just be able to be welcomed in and go to church no matter what? It doesn't need to be, oh, well, you can come here because we agree. No, God says everybody's welcome.
Facts. Agreed.
And you got to work out that between your salvation between you and God.
Agreed.
Yeah, they do. And
Sweetie Pie, everyone. They do.
Come on, Sweetie Pie, let's sit down. Look, they want to take pictures with us, girl. We famous.
They do look. They definitely look. They definitely look. And be all in your face. And then during altar call, they hope you go down.
Okay, they be praying, Lord, please get up to the altar. I'm already saved.
Or they'll come over to you and be like, do you want to go down? Did I move? I understand what this part of the service is. Did I move?
Okay. I know what the altar call is.
Right? No, I don't want to go down. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure. I think everybody's waiting on you.
Everybody's staring at you as soon as they say, and
man,
we have the altar call.
Man.
Bro. Chill.
All right. So with affirming churches, this question going to be, I'm just playing. What does a fully affirming church look like?
Since you want to be me in the comments today, let's go.
Right. Controversy.
I'm trying to be calm.
What does a fully affirming church look like then? Like, what are some things, like if you go into a church, you like, okay, this is an affirming church for real. I can say.
Oh, go ahead. I was about to make a joke. Go ahead. No. I was about to say, have you seen those posts where they show the people like, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, but where they show the people saying like all their pronouns, and then they show the next group of people saying they're late. I'd be like, bro, you got to go through all that just to go to church. Can I just show up to church?
They gotta say their pronouns. What? Where?
Pronouns before they do everything. Saying, I'm just like, can't you just preach? Like, do I need to know that?
That's an affirming church. That right there is an affirming church. They're affirming. Like that.
I need you to calm down. I came to hear about what Jesus told you to say.
They're affirming. That lets me know that they're affirming. That right there is they're affirming. That's one right there. That's a trait. You're putting your I think, and I don't know why I think this way, but whenever I see somebody with their pronouns on something, I feel like that's them recognizing that exists. Even if it doesn't exist for other people, I think that's still them recognizing that, okay, yeah, we are in a time where people may not go by what I see in front of me. You know?
Yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing when one of my kids, my bonus kid, asked me, she her, or she him. I said she her. And she was like, but I thought you was. I said, I still am, but I'm still, I go by she her. She was like, okay. I thought that was cool. Cause that let me know, okay, she getting it. She asking questions, she getting it. That was cool. That was a moment of connection for me. Like Chris be like, I'm so sorry. No, I don't apologize. I like that. My kids be asking me questions too. Like I like it because they be wanting to know. And whenever we watch the TV show and they see a gay couple on the TV, they be like, oh, she's a lesbian like you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, wait a second.
Like, yeah, kids, she's a lesbian too. Oh my God. Okay. All right. There are other ones.
My pronouns are F around and find out.
Fafo. That's what y'all called it. Y'all called it Fafo. Or I guess that's how you say it. I saw somebody put that in the comments. I said, what is FAFO?
And yeah, I remember that we didn't know, but I was like, that is my pronouns. And people were like, those can't be your pronouns. Oh, I can't have my own pronouns now. Now I got, what rule is this?
you wanted the pluses after LGBTQ.
Apparently I'm a plus.
Like, if you want to be FAFO as your pronoun, you a plus. You in that plus family. That's the family you in.
No, come over here and talk to me about it. You'll find out. Because I didn't want to talk to you in the first place. Now we have a whole conversation.
We have a whole conversation about what my pronouns are because you want to ask me. And then I told you, and then you act like it was something that you didn't understand.
Okay. Now we deep.
It's so crazy that our serial preference is now seen as a badge or automatic label. It's my business.
It's your business. Ain't everybody else's business. But that's what I'm talking about. When they show those churches where everybody's, I'm like, I don't feel like you need to go up and make the announcement. Like, if you have it up there, you can just have up. If you want to have that, have it. But the whole service shouldn't be that.
What was the announcement?
They were just like, anytime anybody came up to say everything, every time I was just like, can you just talk? Like, it says your name though, and it gives your title already. You don't have to repeat it every time you come up to the mic. I was just like, can you just say what you're saying?
Okay, I didn't understand. I thought they did that one time. I thought
no, it was every time. I was like, bro, y'all are overdoing it. Like, it's been affirmed.
You have been stamped as affirming. Okay, we get it.
You're affirmed. I don't need to hear it every time.
You are affirmed. Thank you.
Every scripture verse, also my pronouns. Okay, all right. I have a scripture reading, and my pronouns are. Okay.
Thank you. You have been affirmed. We understand. Like,
I would have got up and left.
Okay. Like, right. So what's another way that a church can be classified? Like, what's another trait of a church being affirming? Like I said, if I see more than one person that's gay and they're not closeted gay and pretending to be straight, like, and they're active in the ministry, that's also another way. Another way is you say it at least once throughout the service for everybody to be on the same page of y'all being affirming. I don't just need one person to say we're affirming behind closed doors and then get in the pulpit. You never say it. For me, myself, and I need to hear it and make sure that everybody's on the same page. So
I said one time is cool, or if you have it on the plaque, or because you know how they have the pastor's name or whatever. And my voice cracked for whatever reason. Anyways, don't act like you didn't hear that. I saw your face, bro. I was all, come on. But like I was saying, every time I'm like, nah, like you need to stop, like, because now I feel like you're taking the focus away from what it's really about. It's about God. It's not about you just affirming who you are. It's still about God. Like if you say that every time, now I'm thinking, is this really what it's about, or is it about you?
Facts. I agree. I got somebody that actually.
Why's your mind blown, B?
What'd you say?
I said, why is your mind blown? She put wow emoji.
Mind blown.
Mind's blown.
What is this?
Well, you're waiting to respond if you are going to respond.
Who, B?
But yeah. Well, I don't know. She said, wow, mind blown emoji. I want to know what
Why your mind blown? Why your mind blown?
But yeah, every time, nah, because you're taking the focus away. That's all I gotta say. Like, it's net. But again, that has to do with it being, you know, people are always going to be there. We're there, so people are always going to do what they're going to do.
That's a fact. Did y'all say in the comments what y'all think about? I'm not on that screen anymore. I am now.
Oh, Jeffrey said, right? We don't need to lead with that.
What's another way to know that church is affirming? I got somebody that wants to come up and talk about affirming churches for a second. He's my buddy. He said he wanted to come in for a minute because I asked him this morning if he could. And he had a meeting, but then he just texted me, was like, hey, you still on?
He's like,
yup.
I'm still waiting for you to respond, B, with the why your mind was blown. You can't just put wow, my mind blown emoji and then just say I'm listening.
Oh, is that her saying that she's doing active listening? Talking about wow. Because of what you said.
And what are we wowing about? Like that, it's so open, so broad.
I'm weak. Real quick, too, we're gonna take a break and do a
commercial break.
A commercial break. My bad, I had to send it. We gonna hold up, my bad. I can't talk and think and text. This is hard. It was just hard what I just did. Oh, no, not the right one. I didn't care if I just learned what affirming meant.
Okay. She's saying she just learned right now what that means.
Me too. Actually, I lied. I assumed it meant being inclusive, like LGBTQ, but I didn't want to just make it about sexuality and LGBTQ, but it is. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I was assuming that that's what it was, and my assumptions were correct.
Yeah.
Got the smarts. You see that?
And that's fine. Like you're, being welcomed in and stuff like that, and affirming what you believe. But
fact.
It still has to be about God. If that's what you're saying it's about, that's what it needs to be about. Because then that goes into a whole nother category if that's not what it's about. If it's only about you being able to announce every time that you have pronouns or different things that you want to, like, that's not what it's supposed to be about. There's nothing wrong with affirming people and who they say they are if that's what you believe, but don't take the focus away from God.
Facts. All right, real quick, we're gonna stop and we're gonna do I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that either.
That's Girl, get out of here.
Time for a brain break. All right, the brain break is this right here. Question is, what is a cereal that you are not afraid to say that you still eat as an adult?
I eat every cereal. I have no shame.
You want to know what I eat? I still like Lucky Charms.
That was a good response, B. We're doing our cereal question.
What'd she say?
I was letting her know her response was a good response.
We finna go back to it. I'm gonna go back to them comments because my bro is in down there right now waiting to be let in. But what is a cereal that y'all are not afraid to say as an adult that you still eat? And I ain't talking about Honey Nut Cheerios, honey wheat bunches of oats, whatever it's called, because that's what 40 and up people eat. And I'm saying it with my
What
chest.
does 40 and up people mean?
I'm saying it with my chest, bro.
I used to eat that when I was young, bro. So
what?
I ate honey bunches of oats, honey nut Cheerios.
Did you put little bananas in them when you ate them?
No.
My dad used to eat Frosted Flakes and cut up. He used to make everything look so good. That's why he can't eat half the stuff he used to eat when we was little, because he used to overdo it. And he used to put little bananas in his Frosted Flakes, and he'll freeze his milk, and then he'll wait till it gets slush, and he'll
there you go,
crush up the milk, and then he'll pour it in his cereal, and he'll be looking. I'll be like, and then you expect me to eat this little bogus ass bowl of cereal?
Yeah, you yours looks
you
good.
talking about Kaboom from back then when we was little, like Kaboom, man, like, bro. And then it wasn't Frosted Flakes. If you got the off brand, it was Frosties.
Yeah,
Frosty Flakes is what it was. Frosty Flakes is what it was.
The sugar don't even taste right.
That ain't even sugar.
You're like,
y'all painted that. That's paint. That was artificial paint that they put on there. Like, you're not finna trick me. That was nasty. I'm not a fan of what it is that you said this was. Like, don't do it again. But that's one for me. I still eat every now and then. I might have a taste for Lucky Charms, but when I'm trying to be healthy, I eat some. First of all, I'm not supposed to be eating cereal because of the milk.
You don't get the lactate premium?
The lactate milk messes me up too. I can't even drink it. I can't even drink it. Man, what? As soon as I eat it, I got to make a run for it. So either way it go. Let me see. Y'all said Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Hands down. Oh, you said honey boches. I said boches. That's what I get.
That's what you get for making fun.
That's what I get for making fun.
I love honey bunches of oats, especially with man. I could eat honey bunches of oats, but I mix all my cereal. I'm a cereal mixer. I'll mix every cereal together. I don't care.
You put bananas in Cocoa Pebbles?
It tastes good. You haven't tried it? It's like chocolate. I don't
want my bananas tasting chocolatey. What is that?
Don't be hating on Mel. Let her enjoy.
You go ahead, Mel. You enjoy that. Them cut up bananas go hard and sit. No, for real. My days do that in that Frosted Flakes. Ooh, Kaboom. Kaboom was the cereal. Who know better? Fruity Pebbles so good. It is. It is.
Oh, you eat it dry. Okay.
You eat it dry. You eat it dry. Hey, let me tell you something. I can stick my hand in the what I said, Lucky Charms, and eat it dry. I can eat it dry. I like the marshmallows. I still am a kid when it comes to that, because I'll take marshmallows out of the box and put them in my cereal. And I'll be yelling at my kids for doing it, but I do it, and they be like, "Why you get to?" Because I bought it.
I bought it.
I bought it. You are welcome. If anything. You might not have no King Vitamin is crazy. Oh, that cereal got soggy so fast.
That's throwback.
Oh my God. King Vitamin is great. That's that Aldi cereal right there. That's that Aldi cereal back in the day when you had food that you could afford. Aldi's was definitely one. King Vitamin. You took me all the way back with that one, Alicia. That's funny. You save all the marshmallows for last. See, I can't.
Didn't they sell just all marshmallows at one point?
Don't do that. Did they?
I thought they did.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I will find. I actually will look on Amazon to find it.
Yeah, I was about to say, look it up. I'm pretty sure they did. For some reason, that popped in my head. I thought they had all marshmallows. Yeah, the double marshmallow. They have that one. I
will find it on Amazon. All right, little brain break. That was a little brain break. So, with y'all and y'all nasty cereals. No, I'm just playing.
I'm done. Get the nasty cereals out of here.
Get y'all nasty cereals out of here, people. I'm just playing, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to bring up my bro. This is a best friend of mine, and actually somebody that has helped me on my journey of trying to find answers to certain things that the church would not answer. Not saying he answered them, but he helped me understand and recognize you can find them yourself. If they exist, you can look and find them. And if you don't find them, keep searching. They gonna come. So welcome to the stage, my brother, my bro.
Yo,
bro.
What's going on, family? What's up,
What's
everybody?
good? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I just left. I'm registered for classes for the summer, so I am good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for that news.
Yes.
Been waiting for that news, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up. So our topic today, first of all, ALU family, welcome my brother. I don't see him in the comments yet. YouTube is very, very laggish, but this is my brother Jermaine. This is the irreligious person that be on there when he's on live on TikTok and all of that. Commenting. That's him. This him right here. Yeah. But we are talking about affirming churches today, bro. And there have been a couple comments that have been made during this conversation. And the first question I have for you is this. And JC, if you got any, first of all, JC, this is Jermaine, JC.
What's going on, family?
What's up, fam?
First question I have for you, and JC, if you got any questions, definitely jump in. But what is your definition of an affirming church?
Well, I'm gonna say safe church. Like my definition of affirming church is a safe church, meaning that I'm not talking about physical safety. I'm talking about an emotionally safe church. A mentally safe church, a trauma-informed safe church. I know of some affirming spaces can be just as toxic as some of the other church cultures that's out there. And that's just me counseling with and talking with and working with people behind the scenes that have navigated some of those affirming spaces. Yeah. So I that's how I define an affirming church, that one that is safe.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. I like that answer. I didn't even think of that. Because first of all, I didn't recognize that affirming actually was dealing with like LGBTQ being, in a church being inclusive. Yeah. I didn't want to just I guess I could say simplify it to it being about the LGBTQ plus community, but it's like you said, a safe space for those within the community to be able to come, be able to be vulnerable in that space, to be able to be, able to feel as if what you feel is what I feel. There's no difference because of who you are and who I am. It is what it is. So I also asked, are there really affirming churches?
When it comes to our medical health, or even seeking out therapeutic support, we make very practical and informed decisions about that. We not haphazard when it comes to our personal physician and or therapist, and search for someone that's going to meet your needs. We shouldn't be any other different. I don't care what label they slap on the church.
Yeah.
Be just as practical and pragmatic in searching for a faith space. Just because that label is there, and I'm all pro inclusive, and I'm all pro affirming churches, but people can say that all day long externally, but internally, and systematic wise, it is far removed from what they selling. The false advertisement. So I would say be as pragmatic when you consider, just as you would in seeking out medical support and identifying a primary care physician for you and or therapist.
Yeah. I like that. Because I know, go ahead, you have something, bro?
Oh no, I just said I agree with that. Yeah.
Because I like that. So in me asking that question, like I mentioned before, there are a lot of churches that are very, as you know, like it's a lot of religious organizations out there. And I mean like staunch. And I don't just mean like you believe in, certain things. I mean like traditional type religious churches, who are now trying to flip the script and say that they are affirming because they recognize that nobody's coming.
Exactly.
And the ones that they want to come are the ones that are recognizing that you're not really your church ain't really doing it. It ain't yeah, it's quick too. And then once they get the crowd that is the crowd that they say they want, then it's kind of like your religious traditional biases are now coming to light, to where now you going to say that you affirm. I'm not going to say this pastor that I'm thinking of, because there's one pastor who was very, very staunch on homosexuality, and it was always in the pulpit. He was always in the pulpit talking about it. Now to come and find out that now he's practicing being in affirming church, it's kind of like my antennas go up on pastors like that, because what changed for you? Like, what made you, besides saying that, okay, well, you know what? And I'm not saying everybody can't have a moment to where they're like, you know what, I was wrong. I kind of want to reach out to these people and kind of see where they are. I want to be a light to them as well, stuff like that.
I can, if I can interject with that, what you're saying in that point, I can rock with a space that's in transition, as long as they're transparent and honest about the journey.
Yeah, I agree. I need to see some transparency. I need to see and where who you are back when we talking. It needs to match up with who you are in front of other people, and of course, taking that time to make sure that you're not necessarily killing what it is that you're trying to build too soon, because then you get a lot of people who may not be there yet. You know what I'm saying? That are in the congregation, that you can't be who you say that you want to be. So you're working behind the closed doors to introduce it in a way that you can introduce it so that they can either receive it or have the choice of leaving. But if I don't see that transparency, and if it's not adding up for me and it's a little weird, then I don't know, because it was a comment earlier that said that a lot of people come to church with their guard up.
Rightly so, to some degree or another. For some people, it shouldn't be like that. I maintain a campaign of making our faith spaces safe spaces, and that's irrespective of a person's faith tradition. I'm talking about synagogues. I'm talking about synagogues, churches, and mosques. When I talk about faith spaces, and making sure they're safe. And like I told you, I characterize what safe is. The other part to affirming churches is when when a faith space values your autonomy. And so that's if you're looking for a clear distinction, if a faith space can honor and value your lived experiences, and value your autonomy, and not lift doctrine over your autonomy. It's autonomy over doctrine, and not doctrine or dogma over your autonomy. And that's how you know you're in a affirming safe space.
Because I was definitely going to ask you, what are some traits of a church that is an affirming church? What are some traits or some things that we should look for those that are saying that, you know what, I want to go and visit, or actually, I think I want to start going to church, but I want to make sure that it is the church for me. One thing that I always tell them is to date the church. Make sure that it's the right church for you. You don't have to settle at the very first one that you had a good day in or a good Sunday in. Like, you can keep looking elsewhere to see if that is it. And then you're going to start comparing that church to all the other ones. It's like, well, no, I like when they did this, but making sure that you're dating the church to see which church best fits and suits your spiritual journey. But what are some traits or some things that they could look for in affirming church?
Yeah, definitely. If I like your approach, date the space. You're not obligated, to anyone. I'm an advocate for you being your own guru, your own spiritual leader. That doesn't devalue pastors, ministry leaders, imams, or priests, Catholic Church space, whatever your faith space and approach is in that. That those things are important. Is that they value your lived experiences, they value your autonomy and not impede that. But you know,
Yeah.
dating these spaces, like you said, is a great approach toward that. I think another characteristic, you know, of an affirming church, I would say is, you know, look at the support, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the support that the value that they place around support. Um, in social services, when it comes to, I was working in group homes, and it was called milieus, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were the arbiters. We managed the milieu. We had to make sure that that milieu was safe, and we had to take a therapeutic approach to make sure that. And so, you know what I mean. Your inner man, your spirit man, your second mind, or your gut, or whatever you want to call it. Pay attention to that. Don't, you know, I always tell people, I said, you know, if you're going to go to church, take this with you.
Fact.
Right here between your head.
Right.
You know, take that with you. And pay attention to your gut feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, those things, again, you know, people slap labels on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your inner man, don't excuse stuff away. We've been conditioned, you know, to excuse away stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to second guess stuff. No, if your spirit man, inner man, gut, or whatever you want to call it, tell you that something ain't right, something ain't right.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Agreed.
That's facts. Now, what do you believe that some affirming churches are risking in being an affirming church?
We're definitely we definitely understand what our society is, right? In reality, you know, our society, and there are those that hold to what you know, gatekeepers, right? They gatekeep certain spaces, and so a lot of affirming spaces do risk that being ostracized, marginalized, you know, or pushed the outskirts, you know, of faith society, if you will. But listen, inclusiveness is the new sexy. A lot of the spaces, that are fundamentalist, rigid, in their approach, dogmatic, judgmental, people are not returning to those. People are not returning to those spaces. People are recognizing, you know, the harm that is perpetuated in those types of spaces. And so there is a risk, you know what I mean? There's some crazy people out there that have certain ideologies and beliefs.
Yeah.
So there's always a risk relative to that. I mean, you know, we talked about exploring things here locally in our town, relative and supporting the trans community in youth, but we also recognize the risk in that. You know, how people can take those things and try to make it something that it's not.
Yep.
Because of certain characterizations that people place on spaces that value inclusiveness.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if this was a thing, or if JC, if you've ever recognized this too, but I know that in being a part of an affirming church, you definitely want to have some type of ministry or part of that ministry that reaches out to the youth. You know what I'm saying? So in having someone like myself or someone even like JC, or, you know, possibly a gay male over something like a youth department or something like that, there are risks that are being taken because the parents could definitely say that you are, you know, coaching or grooming my child to be gay, you know? So that's definitely something that I've taken into consideration, because I definitely get offended when people say, well, why do you think it's okay for you to work in the youth department? Well,
yeah.
But why not? Like, what do you...
Yeah, there's a prejudice and a bias within our society, you know, because of our lack of awareness around human sexuality, and normalizing that. And so churches demonize those things, and they associate homosexuality with perversion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody touched on you, or somebody did this to you for you to be this way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, unfortunately, in society hold to those myths.
Yeah. True. And there's a whole lot of ignorance with it that comes with it as well. Yeah. True.
And I feel like it shouldn't matter either way. You should always be using or praying to have discernment, no matter what orientation the person is.
Mm-hmm.
You should always be operating in discernment. And again, when you're looking for a church, you shouldn't just be going and being like, well, I don't know. You should also be praying so you can have that discernment. You should be praying, because the main focus at the end of the day is still supposed to be to God.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Listen, people gonna people, no matter what their orientation is. So, and I always say that, a lot of churches, even affirming spaces, because we assume it's affirming is safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no serial killer. That's right.
We don't know. You might be.
Right, Jay Free. I don't know, Jay Free. It's a couple things that give me serial killers sometimes. I don't know.
Don't worry, I'm praying right now for you.
I'm praying, right? I'm gonna see what I feel in a second. Give me a second, Jay Free.
Yeah. So there's an element, of it is the space. Faith spaces should be transparent. They should be transparent about finances.
Mm-hmm.
They should be, it's a transparent space. A lot of times we vacated responsibility, or we deferred the responsibility of our own spiritual formation to pastor, and to pastor. You know what I mean? When you are the ultimate arbiter of your own spiritual formation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we should take accountability and responsibility to that of our and then looking to pastors or ministry leaders as a support to that.
Right.
Not as something as what we've made idols out of people,
right?
Idols out of systems,
right?
When it comes to that, but the sister said the best: discernment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to be practical with that. There's just things that's just odd to the obvious, and you can talk. I mean, ask the pastor. Talk to the pastors. Talk to them and what your expectations are.
Mm-hmm.
To a space. And what you can bring to that space as well. I think that's to be community focused is an important part to that too.
Yeah, I do that, and I've done it, and I will keep doing it, because I don't want it to go without being said. I'm not going around saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm gay." I need you to know. Like,
by the way,
in case you didn't know, I dress like a baby daddy for a reason. This is my baby daddy suit today, and I'm dressing like that for a reason. No, it's not me struggling. I am actively pursuing a woman, and I am gay. We got 6 kids. It's just to let y'all know, she might come to church one day. Just don't be shocked, because I'm not coming.
Hello, my name's Gay. I mean,
I'm not coming to church to change. I'm not coming to church because I feel like my life is in shambles. I'm coming to church because I want to give back to the community. So I wanted to make sure that it was understood, though, that these are my intentions in coming to these church, like to this church, or to being a part of your church, whatever, because I don't want you to feel like you got to get in the pulpit and preach a specific sermon based off of my lifestyle because you are offended by it. Like, you're not gonna. No, because I will clean smooth, get up and walk out in the middle of it. Like, you better hope I don't come across.
Walk right out that door.
Walk right up out that door. You better hope I don't come across a loose mic, because I'm gonna pick that mug up and say, "You niggas don't love God," and put it down and walk out. Because why are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you so focused on my sexuality? Why is it a bother when I'm literally coming to give back, which is what we're supposed to do. So, last question for you, and then after this question, definitely go into what it is that you do, as far as not your 9 to 5, but what it is that you're about to start working on as far as creating these safe spaces, trauma informed spaces for people, individuals. What up, Lolita? What's good? just a little late. You know, I always tell y'all, time is early. We be right in it. We be in time. Time is just early. You know,
Lolita be one of the main ones talking about your time, and look at. No, I'm playing.
You know what? She praises me
playing.
when I'm on time. She be like, look at you on time. So
You know I'm playing.
You know. So my question to you, bro, is this. Jermaine, my question is welcoming and being inclusive. Is it the same thing, or are they different? Like for a church to be welcoming and a church to be inclusive. Is it the same thing, or do they differ? And can you be inclusive without being welcoming? Can you be welcoming without being inclusive?
That's a really good question. Yes, it is a big difference between welcoming and inclusive. So let's just say that that the Christian ethos, if you will, is to be loving and welcoming, right? We know a lot of faith spaces. Yeah, come on. Bring them in. Oh, bring them in, because we're welcoming. But again, when you get into the systematic things of church, it is not inclusive. It is geared and shaped for indoctrination, not for exploitation, exploring, being explorative, open, to dialogue and conversation. No, this is what we believe, this is what it is, and then you need to just conform. So sometimes it's not going to be forced conformity, it's going to be implied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely will be implied.
But then inclusive, is it definitely by definition and distinction. When you go into a space and you can see people like you, reflective of you, and people mirror that one to another. It's not fake, it's not forced. Again, I mean, we just by our human, intuition, when somebody's being genuine, when somebody just putting on the face.
Right.
So yes, there's a big difference between welcoming and inclusive. Like I said, it is the Christian ethos to be welcoming to the lost. Okay. Welcoming spaces, oftentimes they will be, but you can tell it's the giveaway is the us versus them type narratives that they push. That's how you know if a space is truly inclusive. If an inclusive space is not going to carry the narratives of us versus them.
Facts.
A welcoming space, yeah. You get in there and this is definitely going to bridge to forced conformity or implied, not forced but implied conformity. I know this is how y'all did it there, but this is how we do this here. So can you be inclusive and not welcoming? I think that's what you said, right? Yes. So yes, I know of an affirming space in Chicago.
We talked about this earlier.
We did.
And I probably would say the person's name because I ain't got no shame. And I call the person out.
Put them on blast.
For sure, because I'm an advocate for safe spaces, and so I just I don't recommend any and every church, anybody. If somebody asks for my recommendation, I'm very limited. I recommend, but I know of a faith space that is affirming. The pastor and their husband lead that church. But it is the culture is toxic. It's no different than any other dogmatic, charismatic, power tripping type church.
Yep, but there are people.
People gonna people. Okay, y'all. I know people say, and I meant to make this point earlier. People say, "Well, no, not my church."
Yeah.
No, every space, every system or space that have people, gone people.
Gone people.
Yes.
But the thing is, what did that space do to protect people from peopling?
Mm.
And how you protect people from peopling is trauma-informed spaces, transparency, advocate for transparency, having exit interviews for people while you leaving the church. And
Yeah, yeah.
opportunity to share, why they leaving the church. Just like you can go on Google, you can leave a recommendation for a restaurant. You can leave 5 stars, 4 stars. Transparent churches should promote, a space where people can leave,
Mm-hmm.
or people can leave a review.
Yeah.
And at least people are informed of what they're getting into.
Yeah. Facts.
Exit. So spaces that where they teach ethics, principle and ethics. They and then they are trauma informed. Their leaders and elders are trauma informed. They are clear in explaining and defining power dynamics. And a lot of our faith spaces, they don't define power dynamics, to explain that to people so people can understand. Listen, yes, I'm your pastor, or but I'm not a licensed therapist.
Man, say it again.
I'm your pastor, but I'm not your licensed therapist. And so that's that's what an inclusive space, or a space that can be an inclusive space that can be welcoming. But an inclusive space can be unwelcoming, and I've seen those spaces. They're just as rigid, as their counterparts that they're trying to be distinct from by being affirming. But they still carry the same religious dogmas, power tripping. I'm an anointed man. I'm anointed over you, or my spiritual gifts are greater than your spiritual gifts.
Yep.
It's all that can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said can I?
No, you have a cuss jar. You gotta put, if you cuss, you gotta put $10 in.
Oh, we got a swear jar.
We got a swear jar. You gotta put $10.
Okay, all right. I keep it G-rated.
We just playing. You good?
I'm playing, bro.
Y'all listen to my podcast. I be cussing all the time.
You good, bro? Talk freely,
Everything
man.
welcome here. See, we
Right,
just
you good? Talk freely.
Yeah, it's be all that bullshit. Just move around from that. Listen, people are just looking for a safe space to land. Give that to the people, y'all. Give that to the people. Give it, and you don't have to. You don't have to force nothing on anybody. And people should be free to come and go, in the space and not feel obligated. Pastors, ministry leaders, imams, or whatever, are there to support. But definitely, the pastor is not a be all, and they should be informed in that way. And so, if you come for pastor counseling, listen, I am not a sex therapist. So I can't counsel you on your marriage. I'm not a licensed marriage counselor, although pastors try to be the jack of all trades. No, they can come along and support you on your journey, but give people informed consent. Informed and say, hey, yes, I'm your pastor. Come on in here for counseling. But listen, I'm not your therapist. Here's a recommendation. Take this letter, this as a referral, and let them know pastor referred you. And so faith spaces that can establish linkages with, other supports, for people, because, life hits any and everybody. And so being able to refer out, or defer to the experts, as I say. You know what I mean? If you have a faith leader that defers to the experts, great. But if you have a pastor that's a licensed counselor, that's even great. That's awesome. Because they can expand that. But a lot of, they give this, again, that's that power dynamic play. So like me as a social worker, it'll be unethical. It is unethical for me, and it's against our social work ethos for me to practice outside of my realm and scope of insight and understanding.
Yeah.
So no, I tell people, yes, I can provide a space for you to talk and to share. but I'm not a licensed therapist. But I can help make linkages, and I can establish, some core things for you. But I'm going to connect you with the experts, the professionals, that's going to help you, carry you over. Now, I can coach you on this process, but I'm going to refer out, for people. And so, my inbox has been a safe space for people. And I'm, definitely give informed consent, for people to let them know where I am, how I can help them, and navigate them along their journey, wherever they choose to go. But yeah, it's, our pastors, and that's again, what I say when I say safe spaces or inclusive spaces, that's what I mean with, and when I mean safe, right? They're giving those informed consents. They're transparent. They're for example, in some of our religious spaces, abuse, when they're dealing with abuse, they're advocates against those things. Zero tolerance on abuse, zero tolerance, on all those types of facets.
Yeah, I like that. Y'all see why this was a safe individual for me to
bring up,
because in a lot of spaces, I was at a time where I was looking for someone to be as open and at least honest and transparent when it came to spirituality, when it came to even religion, when it came to certain things. And even Chris was another one where I was able to get a lot of nourishment, I guess I can call it, in a time where I wasn't even putting myself in position to read my Bible, to be in church, to even talk to people that, believe the way that I used to believe back then. Like I was deconstructing, as you will call it. And now in my stage and in my form of reconstructing, I'm able to sit in spaces where I can have conversations with people who may have different views or different perspectives and not feel offended, and even in spaces where I can ask questions that, we were afraid to ask as kids. Like we couldn't ask, well, why? Well, why did God flood the earth? If that was why was he so mad with this? Like, we couldn't ask these type of questions. But as I literally dive deeper into my relationship with God and learning more about myself, it becomes easier for me to be able to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start asking these questions. And when we be on our lives in the morning, I'll be asking questions like, yeah, I got a question. And I'll be asking questions and we be going right into it. Like, and it what I actually came to accept was that it'll never get answered. Like we can have a conversation on it, but the question will never get answered. Like we talk about it, and it's never well, this is what the answer is. It's always well, I like your perspective on it. Okay, I like your perspective, and then they bring theirs and I give mine, and we have a conversation, whatever. And we're all okay to walk away and say that was a good conversation we had, rather than saying, I was offended when you said, it was good.
That word should not be I think it should be pillar when it comes to our dogmas. Just as we're dogmatic, we should be dogmatic about I don't know.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
There's nothing wrong with not knowing. But I feel like that like Jesus gave us the best example, like as far as, church wise, like he talked to everybody. He never said, oh, well, I'm not talking to you because you have sin. If that was the case, he ain't talking to nobody. He would have been like, I'm not even coming for y'all, bro. Forget it.
And then went into church and couldn't stand them because of what they was doing. So
but he told them,
what are we really doing?
Exactly. Everybody. Because I'm dying for everyone. I'm not just dying for one person.
A few select,
I paid the price. So that's why I tell people, like, hey, you got to work out what God has for you. And when you're going and you're looking for your church, don't just go because you're like, well, I need a plate. No, you need to know that God wants you to be there. Because that also matters.
Yeah. It's got to be a space that you definitely want to be in. You
want to be in, but God wants you to be there too. Because you can be in a space just because you want to be there, and that's not where God wants you to be.
Yeah.
Again, discernment.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, that discernment is definitely like pay attention. I mean, we all have the radar. We've just not we've been conditioned and indoctrinated to ignore it.
True.
And that was part of my journey too, is that I have a lot of questions. and I didn't feel safe, you know. And I just talked about this in my Facebook live I just did the other day, and was talking about, you know, in 2025, in this 2025, it is okay to ask questions, y'all. And let's normalize that. It is okay to ask questions about your faith. It is okay, and we normalizing that. That is okay to ask questions to things that don't sit right with you. If you know a space, you know, you want to be dogmatic about, you know, where is it the Bible is clear? No, not. The Bible is not. The Bible don't contradict itself. Yes, it very much do contradict itself. So you know, but I said this. I said I told pastors. I said I encourage pastors. I said if you want to create a space, stop telling people what to think and how to think, but give them the tools to think.
Yep.
That's what it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
And I think our faith spaces could be incredible spaces of learning, right? And experiencing the Bible. Let's go with the Bible, right? There's a scripture that talks about let us reason together. And so here you think on these things that are good, lovely. Think. So you can take a concert of scriptures, weave them together. You hear within the context of what we say God's word is, right? God is inviting you to bring your brain with you.
Yes. He's
inviting your questions. And people think you can't question God. There's verses in there that say,
listen, just think about your child and the dynamics. We say there's a love and caring relationship. You know, kids got all kinds of questions. Why?
Yeah. What they do?
The asking questions sent you to hell. That we all go, because when you were a kid, you asked way too many, like you just said, Jerry. Way too many. Like, I don't know.
What they do?
If your reflection of you being a good parent, you know, is leaning into your child in their questions, what will make you think that God is any different than God is a parent?
Right. Yeah.
So, but conditioning and indoctrination taught me to hide my questions, or to be afraid to even ask them. And so there were things I would just put on the shelf because the spaces I were in were not safe enough. You know, you know it when you sit in the Bible study.
Yeah, facts.
And I told pastors, listen, stop calling Bible study. Call them Bible lectures.
There you go.
Because y'all already came with the script. You already came with the script on what you're going to lecture us on. And so if I ask questions, everybody looking at me question like, man, we just motherfucking shut up. You know what I mean? And then and it's not like you trying to be a know-it-all. You just genuinely have questions.
Yeah, true.
And then people looking at you strange. And so, you know, we, again, implicitly, we won't say it out loud. We tell you shut the fuck up and just listen what the man of God saying and just be indoctrinated.
Yeah.
No, not in 2025.
Facts.
If you get yourself at a place like that, and you know you got questions and they ain't answer them, then you know you ain't in the right place.
You ain't in the right place.
Nah, baby,
if they're not even acknowledging.
Yeah,
if they're not even acknowledging your questions, like it's
walk right on back. No,
get on up out of there. Moonwalk yourself. Moonwalk.
Oh, not the moonwalk.
Moonwalk. Let them know you for real. Watch them while you walking out. Moonwalk.
You got the
moonwalk, shimmy, or
Millie Rock, whatever you want to call. Get up out of there. Get up out of there. Do the jerk out. Do the reject.
The door's locked.
Whatever. Get up out of there. Them doors.
Make your way out of there.
Chicken head. Way up out of there. Get up out of there. Get up out of there. For real. But that's dope. I appreciate you, bro, for coming at the last minute. I hit him up this morning. I was like, "Can you come on for a second, please?"
Surprise.
Right. Definitely appreciate you. And we actually have to start our project back up. I actually just found out StreamYard can stream on TikTok. They just updated that today.
Really?
Yes, bro. They just updated that today. So I would love to get church closets up and running as soon as you are available. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, let's do it. We can do it.
Definitely. And we're also, I'm gonna just put this out. I'm speaking into existence, but I'm gonna definitely be talking to the board about it. We are also trying to include Jermaine as a resource to ALU as well. Him and his services and what he does, especially for things like studish and mass presenting women who need just a safe ear or something like that. Like I really want to utilize, and I want everybody to be able to experience what it is that I got a chance to experience when I was in a space where I was angry with everybody, including God, and I didn't know what to do with it. So he definitely is somebody that I can trust enough to share with the community, and say, hey, this would be a dope opportunity for you to talk to my bro. Like he can break it down better. He know how to talk a mug that is on the cliff off. I'm telling you, like this man, like I'm gonna tell him myself. Chris has called him on me many a times, and I'm already like, I don't want to talk. No, I'm already gone. But he's definitely a safe space, and you can definitely trust his word on what he says. When he says it doesn't go past him, he's not sharing. He's not one of the pastors that say, you know, I was talking to one of my members and they was telling me, like, he ain't one of them. Like, it's literally gonna stay with him.
No, it's confidential.
It's confidential.
Yeah, anything you share with me, unless it comes to the space and where you're threatening to harm yourself or others, then I'm telling.
Yeah, he's a social worker. He want to keep his license. Yeah.
So, I'm a mandated reporter for sure. But I am a safe. I do. That's part of my ethos. I just credential wise, I have a master's in Christian counseling. I'm going back to school now to get my master's in social work so that I can be licensed, and to start my own practice. But I've been in social services for over 20 years. I am a licensed child welfare specialist out of the state of Illinois. So I deal with the dynamics of families, you know, people. I see humanity at their worst.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing anybody needs, is, to pour on the judgment, so I am a stickler about being non-judgmental, because everybody, life happens, life be life. And people just need tools. And sometimes most instances, the answers are always sometimes within ourselves. And we just need an active listener to help us, I'm an active listener. I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
And what's the thing that went, I listen and I don't judge.
You listen and we don't judge.
Because I listen and I judge.
I was going to say, I listen and I judge like a
I'm judging, I'm judging right now. No,
I'm judging. Because why you do that? Like, goof.
We're joking, but that's why we have Jermaine here, so you can talk to me.
Yeah. I believe in taking a strength-based perspective, even if the person don't even recognize the reality of their own strengths. So.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, give a little brief of how I was when you first met me. Just a small
Okay, so
take the breath, Jermaine. It's okay.
Well, let me mention this too. I done ministry for years as well. I was ordained a bishop too. So I know church I can do church with my eyes closed.
Like a mug.
And I know this Bible backwards and forwards. I was a professor for online Bible school, and I taught theology for a while too. So I'm not a theologian. I'm a novice, relative to that. But to my sister saying, we just in short, God had put the LGBT community on my heart, and we were at a church, and sis was sharing a testimony, about God delivering her from homosexuality. So I looked over at my wife and I said, bullshit.
In the church.
Discernment.
Married and all, right?
Yeah, yep.
Married and all. I was married.
I looked at my wife and said, bullshit. But then God set up a series of situations and circumstances, and God When I refer to God as she, he, her, them, they, because God could very well be woman. And for my own indoctrination, I reference God as Mother God, because we often phrase or frame God in a male form so much, but yet the scripture says the many-breasted one, Al Shaddai. And so the Bible, feminizes God. And so for me, in my indoctrination in this male persona of God, misogyny, patriarchy, so to reverse the curse of patriarchy and to reverse the curse of toxic masculinity, for me, I reference God in the female form. So let me just put that out there. So, so God spoke to my heart and put her on my heart. And so I went to her, and God told me to take hell off the table for her. And so I explained to her, and I said this, I said, if we believe the scriptures where it says that Jesus went down to hell and, beat up the devil, right? And he beat up the devil and he took the keys from hell.
Mm-hmm.
If he took the keys and locked it up, who gonna take the keys from Jesus? I just want to leave you with that. And then I'll leave you with another thought, right? If we say that God is all powerful, then what other power is there really? And so since then, I've have grown into the person that God told me she would be, and that's
it.
See, that word was a trigger for her, and I understand, and rightly so, it should be. But that same word that was weaponized is now a part of her strength and her testimony. And it speaks to the reality of her resilience. Because a true shepherd cares for the sheep. And that's all that my sister has, is love, and genuine love and care for God's people.
Yep. That is a fact. People I've not even met in person. That is a fact. People that I've only seen through comments in the circle as of last Friday. That is a fact. That is a fact. Yeah.
I even got her saved. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh Lord, what you find it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's probably gonna be on your screen. But hold on, let me see if I can.
You finna show them what you got me saved as in your phone?
Yes.
Ever since we met, this man had my number saved in his phone like that.
Oh wait, you disappeared on me.
There we go.
Yeah,
there. Pastor. But like we've had that conversation, G. Like I told you, like when I came across your live, like we talked. I've seen tons of other ones, but I came across yours. I was like, huh, I could feel the difference, and that was one of the first things we talked about. I was like, I could feel the difference. I said, because God, yes, God gives us discernment, and that's why I tell people you got to listen to Him. I said, but He'll let you know who's out there really doing what is right, because it's in their heart. It's not about what you're seeing; it's about what He sees and what He's allowing that light that He's giving you to shine through.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, oh, she really talking about God. I know this. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Versus it's not a game. And I know it's not a game to you.
No, I don't play with it. If that's the case, I'm gonna get off. I play with it with people around me. I ain't finna go on social media and play with it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you're right. With the pastor on there, yep, I agree. I know she don't like it, but it's true. And it doesn't even have to be the formal. Like, you don't have to go and do all that. I mean, Jesus technically didn't. They called him master, teacher, all that.
That's facts. That's facts.
You are what you are. I can go somewhere and people, it's just on me. They're like, you Although my philosophy relative to religion is different, they still ask me at work to pray. I pray.
Mm-hmm.
I pray for people. I mean, it's not, if that's what people need, I pray with you.
Yeah.
Pray with you, pray for you. But yeah, it's genuine. People ask me, you a pastor? And you can't run from it. It's, okay, yeah, I be that. Whatever you need,
Right.
in that moment, I'd be a pastor, apostle. I've heard all those terms, prophet,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I just love humanity, and if that make me Jesus like, praise God,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the model, and I think you said it earlier, the model for us is what we find in those four gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and what's characterized of Jesus. Jesus was very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
He was very inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Samaritan.
Yeah.
Hey, this meat. This is not for y'all.
Yeah.
And she said, well, hey, you Jesus. Hey. He said, okay, well, your faith. The woman at the well. What you doing talking to her, Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
And what she went back to her village. I met a man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's inclusive. So you see what's characterized with Jesus. You see Jesus being welcoming, and you see Jesus being inclusive. And so it was a game changer for the religious mindset of his day. That hasn't changed. Inclusion scares people.
Mm-hmm.
And it scares them because it's the reality of their ignorance, and a lot of people don't want to face that. If it's the implicit biases within yourself, your own biases, your own prejudices. A lot of people don't want to face themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what inclusion does. It causes you to face your own ugliness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Agreed.
Agree with that 1,000%.
Agreed. And I
Yeah.
definitely want to reiterate that, and being in a space where, especially after deconstruct, so after you deconstruct, you have to reconstruct. You can't just be an empty lot. You have to refeed and refuel your spirit, man, your spirituality, your beliefs, and all of that, and figure out where it is that you stand and what you believe in and what you agree with and what you don't agree with. That's where you learn to set new boundaries and accept and not accept what people say, how they treat you. You know what I'm saying? Based off of who you are, what you look like. And in that, again, reiterating that being able to have conversations with people, like Jermaine said, he's able to still pray for people in things that, with his beliefs and being different from everybody else, the traditional form of believing of, who God is and how God is, is not difficult to put yourself in a space with people who are different, but still reverence God, period. Regardless of how you look at God, regardless of how or who you see God as, what you see God as is. Because honestly, to me, God is different than who God is to me, than who God is to JC, who God is to Jermaine. You know what I'm saying? There's people out here who lost their mom and their mom was their best friend, and they may refer to God as you know what I'm saying, as a mother form, as a mother figure, as a nurturer, which is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, who am I to say you can't go to God how you feel like you need to go to God? You going to God though? Like you believe too? You know what I'm saying? So I don't knock, and I don't push away from people who may see or think differently. All I am hoping is that there's something that I'm doing or saying, or I'm around people who don't mind being an example of what God's love is.
You can't. It's impossible to be inclusive if you don't embody in it. If you're not the embodiment of it, it's impossible. It's impossible to be inclusive if you don't embody it. You have to embody it. For it, it has to be your life ethos. Okay.
It
has to be a part of your characteristic, your character. people know, they see you. You ain't switching up because you just the same because you're inclusive. They know it. They feel it. Anyway, I'm just we talking about it. But JC, listen, let me just share this with you. I just really feel this moment. There,
it's in your gut.
Yeah, it's in my gut.
You're good.
I'm sitting here and it's like what I just keep. It's like my hands is tingling too. It's just the creativity that's in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
I just see.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I just your hands are really creative, and what I see in your creativity, I see a book. In your creativity. So I don't know if you're writing a book or if you're thinking about writing a book, but if you are, write the book. But also just, your hands, there's the healing reality or healing portion within the touch, your hands, listen, release the creativity. It's just like, it's this, whatever your hands touch, it's going to prosper. You know what I mean? And there's healing in your hands. You have healing hands. Use them.
Well, you done? You ain't got no more?
No.
You get them right.
I was just, I wanted to give you the floor because somebody that don't know needs to say it. And I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Release.
That's confirmation.
Release like a mug.
Yeah, release it. Yeah. Like I said, my hands is over here tingling. I mean, like tingling. This is really weird. But yeah, it's just, just the healing, and then just, while we out here and just, just anybody else that has, your gifts, your graces, and you feel like you're in between space. You feel like you're locked in. You're locked up. And it's like something's in you just ready to explode and you just don't know where to start. So, I just speak that. I just, put that on you, that this is your season of release and the gifts that God is giving you. Humanity needs what you have, and with that is a sense of healing. You know what I mean? And so if you have a healing touch, hug people. If you have a voice that heals,
I don't like hugging.
If you have a voice that heals, use it and heal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm glad you got that out because you needed to say that to her because definitely holding some creativity captive and needs to just
real captive, Rapunzel style.
Like a mug. Over there.
It's locked in the tower.
Just literally choking them. Like let it go. Let it go.
Hair down. Nah, I'm cool, bro. But you're right. No, I mean, and I get that because people do be like, oh, can I have a hug? And I'm just like, sometimes I'd be like, man, I don't got the energy to be giving you a hug. But anyway, I do it anyways, But I always, like I was telling you, G, how I was using Moses as the example before, or like Jonah. Like I didn't want to go do stuff sometimes, but it's like what you said, Jermaine. It's true. Like I know that sometimes people need the touch, and that is something that I know God has given me, and it's been spoken over me multiple times. And sometimes it's exhausting.
It is.
And so knowing that God will still give me that strength, but I tell people like, no, you don't understand. It's exhausting. I can't just go out and just be, chill. Every time I go anywhere, somebody, can you pray for me? Oh, can we pray together? Can you lay your hands on me? They'll even ask me to. And I'll be like, I'm just trying to pray for you, like right here. Like I was just trying to touch your shoulder.
Stay over there.
Yeah. I have an affirmation for you that's gonna help you. And it helped me. And my spiritual father gave it to me, a prayer to pray. God, their burdens are not mine to carry.
Jesus,
they belong to you. I give you back this person, their burdens, their problems, their issues. And I'm asking you to refill me up what I poured out today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What's a good one? Send me this clip so I can make sure I remember, because you know how I am.
You'd be like, can you ask him what that prayer was that he prayed that one time? Like, yeah,
I need to say that affirmation. What was it? You know, it was 3 words, bro.
like, bro, you don't remember it? That was good. Look, Lolita said that was good. It was good. I told y'all, like, this right here, y'all. Hey, I don't share my spaces like that. It was one thing that I was sharing Chris, but it's another thing to be sharing like my spaces, like my circle. And he definitely a vital part of my circle, and now me and Chris's circle as well. So I appreciate you, bro. Just know that. Definitely know that. And I cannot wait for us to utilize your services. We got some things coming up, and I cannot wait to express it with the community. But it's growing. It's nerve-wracking, but it's growing. And these people believe in something that I had an idea of in the beginning, and they grabbed it and ran with it with me, and they won't let me stop running, even when I want to stop. And I'm looking at them like, leave me up. And they like, no, G, come on. So
we got you. We'll carry you, bro.
Right. Man, I swear, sometimes I feel like you don't light on my feet because they got my arms and they carrying me, because it's not always easy to get on here and do this. But I appreciate you for hopping on and even just giving that piece of encouragement, even to JC and even to me. I received it too, because I got some things I was supposed to do that I'm holding back on because I'm afraid of releasing it. But like you said, it's time, and I'm appreciative of the spaces you helped me create for me. You know, I'm appreciative of it, and I can honestly tell you, I've never felt so light and so free in my life until these last few years. And this year, really, I didn't think, especially after last year, what I experienced, I didn't think that this year would be as bright as it has been these last few months. I got you to thank for that, because you've been on me. I got Chris to thank for that. I got God to thank for that. And I definitely got the ALU family to thank for that as well. Y'all definitely, when I feel low, I can feel y'all prayers. I could feel y'all encouragement. And some of y'all just hit me up and be like, G, we here. Don't forget anything you need. You know, I love it. So I'm appreciative. And I couldn't ask for a better community than the one I got. Like I say, I don't care if it's 12 of us. We mighty. You hear me? Like we not playing.
Jesus changed the world with only 12.
Man, what?
Okay, come on now.
What? Say it again.
Small is the new big, y'all.
Facts. I'm with it. ALU has helped me get free from some things in 2020. You feel me, Jay Free? You feel me? That's where I'm at. I love it.
My help, boy, y'all get me stirred, boy. I feel it all in my belly.
Because it's the year of freedom. It's the year of change. It's the year of things moving forward and bigger and better things. 2025.
Double grace. It's the year of grace. It's the year of growth. It's definitely the year of prosperity. It's the year. And I tell them all the time, that vault stay open, because y'all hearts are so open and expecting, and y'all look for God daily. That vault stay open. Ask God. Talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Request of God. Don't forget, because if you don't speak it, how are we supposed to know? You know what I'm saying? So keep proving that this is definitely made away May. Keep proving that this is a month of miracles, because it's coming forth, and I could feel it, and I'm getting excited. I could sit on here for another hour and do this, but I ain't gonna do that. We've been on here for two and a half hours.
We're there for 2 hours.
We ain't gonna do that. Had a whole service. Where's the collection plate? Where's the?
We finna get the tearing in a few
Man,
minutes.
what?
I'm about to set this whole office up. You keep on talking, they don't be here tearing it up, man.
Bro, we definitely gotta talk, because there's some things that I'm looking to do within the next couple of months. And I keep thinking that, we ain't there yet. But I'm like, nope, we gotta do it. So I'm gonna definitely be hitting you. I might come slide on you if you ain't busy.
I'm here.
I'm gonna definitely do it. Expect from God, Jay Free, for sure. Alicia, you still here? I didn't know you was here, girl. What's up?
The way you said it.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in, bro. I definitely appreciate you for hopping in.
Yes.
Everybody, y'all already know the drill. ALU. This is a safe space because God doesn't discriminate. So we are here every Thursday, ALU Podcast at 2 p.m. Central Standard. If you have not followed our Patreon yet, you see it underneath us. Subscribe to it. It is free as of right now. We are getting more content and we are becoming more consistent. So catch it while it's free, because when I start charging, we're going to start charging. Just let y'all know that now. And no, you cannot have your $10 back. So don't ask me.
I want my $10 back.
Always a controversial one. Always.
Gotta be controversial.
Always.
25 controversy.
Always. But again, thank y'all. This was dope. We'll be back. Don't forget, tomorrow's the inner circle. I'm gonna talk to you, Jermaine.
We'll talk
about that. I'm gonna talk to you about that. So keep it up. Keep up the good work. Keep expecting from God. Keep being dope. And let's go get these blessings, y'all. ALU.
Man.
Much love to y'all. All right, panel. Thank y'all.
Thank you,
for sure. This ain't the last of this panel right here. It would be more. See y'all again tomorrow morning. Oh, I lied. Not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, inner circle. Nope. Saturday morning. Yes, but not tomorrow morning. Much love to y'all. We out. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you.
Lady G.